Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So I thought today we would get in here and clean this thing up, make it look nice, maybe put a little paint in all the right places, get everything ready for this engine to go back in. I would never want to put all this together all nasty like this. I just can't stand it. This truck was made in '93, so obviously it's going to have a lot of buildup, and I want to get all that scraped out of there, brushed off, all of that. You can see here, man, we got all kinds of stuff that needs to be blowed out of there with a pressure washer, an air hose, something, maybe a combination of the two. Also, we'll need to get in there and get rid of those exhaust manifolds. Those are for a V6. We're putting in a V8. So let's get everything ready. Yeah, we'll take the V8 engine and get it cleaned up as well. We'll hit it up with some degreaser, let it soak for a little bit, and start scraping and picking at it till she looks like brand new again when we get done. We'll hit it up with a little bit of spray paint. We'll make it look nice, because I'm sure most of y'all agree that there's no way you could just put all that back together like that. That's just no way. We're just trying to make it look better. Most of you guys have done engine swaps and things like that, even when you're working with just salvage yard stuff. You clean it up before you put it back in. You wouldn't put it back in all nasty like that. I want to get all of this stuff out of here because, you know, stuff like this, it's just going to get blowed off with that pressure washer. It's got pretty good high pressure on it. It'll sling this stuff halfway across the yard. I don't want that. Save these old coffee cans like probably most of you guys do, and pretty handy for keeping all these old nuts and bolts. You can see, man, it's like every bolt that they took out of this thing to I mean, they had the manifold off, they had the heads off, everything. So all of the bolts have just been thrown in here. We're going to save all that stuff because you never know, we might need a few of those during this project. So let's get all of them out of here. There's a whole bunch of them. There's more over on the other side too. Yeah, we definitely would not want this stuff getting slung across the yard. I'll be hitting it with the mower later. Just noticing the windows down. I guess we'll have to roll that up. We'll use our battery charger. So yeah, on these electric windows, for those of you that may not know, if you ever need to raise the window up and down and you don't have power to the rest of the vehicle, because let's say you got the engine out and what have you. Now, I didn't cut these. These are actually already cut, and you don't have to cut them. You could just kind of splice into them a little bit, and depending on which way you touch your positive and your ground will make it go up or down. So, you know, you do red and black this way or whatever, it'll go up, and then you do it the opposite way and it'll go down. Super easy. So if you find yourself in that situation, man, you might try that, because I don't want to get out here with the pressure washer and get water all inside of here. No way. Our seats are actually in decent shape. I don't want to mess none of it up. Okay, let's drag this thing outside. Yeah, see, then we could go back and scrape off some of this other stuff, the heavier stuff, you know, look at that. The degreaser may eat into some of that a little bit as well. That's actually working really good, just a little bit of scraping and the water pressure alone. It's not even hot water. This is just some run-of-the-mill purple power you get down at the old Walmart. We've got the bulk of it cleaned off, man. That actually worked out very well. That is a pretty high pressure power washer there. That was sent to us by a subscriber. Very much appreciated. We definitely put that thing to good use around here. Almost don't even need none of that, do we?
No.
All right, we'll take this and just rub it around on the old firewall here. Yeah, we'll just kind of wipe it around on here real good with our little brush here, and hit it again with some water, and that firewall is going to look good as new. We'll even do the inside of the fenders here. Get that white as bright as possible. It does make a difference. We'll do the bottom side of the hood as well. We may end up repainting the bottom side of the hood actually when we paint the rest of the truck. This truck is getting a full paint job. In case you guys missed it on the last video, we told y'all about that. Boy, that brightened right up. Look at that. That looks amazing. We need to take this transmission off of that old V6. This is the one we're actually going to reuse after we send it down to the rebuilder. So I'm going to go ahead and get it off of here. We'll give it a quick clean, throw it in the back of the truck, and go drop it off. Alrighty, we broke the seal. Now we might just need to wedge something down in there a little bit. Unfortunately, this time we had to leave the torque converter behind because that motor is seized up. We can't turn it over to get to the torque converter bolt. But since the transmission is being rebuilt, shouldn't be that big of an issue. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait on all that to dry before we can get in there and do any kind of spray painting or any of that kind of stuff. So figure while we're waiting on that, we'll drag in a couple of these repaints. I got a wreck I need to fix, and another one that's got another one of those peelers that needs some peel and paint replaced on it. Thought maybe we could knock that out right quick. I know what you're thinking. Good Lord, is that all you do is paint white trucks? Well, here's the deal. These are flip trucks. Meaning these were only bought to resell, and they always need paint work done to them. I don't care what you're flipping, it seems like they need some paint work done. And what's the easiest, cheapest color to paint? White. So these old work trucks make perfect flip vehicles. They sure do. Easy to paint, cheap to paint. Most times you could do just single stage. This is actually a two-stage, base coat, clear coat. But anyway, that's kind of what's been going on, and that's why we end up with so many white trucks. Now, since we're only doing the hood on this, I'm going to go ahead and take it off. That saves me from having to do a bunch of masking. Good Lord, this thing's heavy. So yeah, 5 minutes to take the hood off, and we won't have to mask the rest of it for overspray. I mean, you could imagine painting an entire hood is going to create a lot of overspray, and it's just going to go all over everything. I don't want to have to put plastic over the whole rest of the vehicle, so I would rather just pull the hood off. But you know, you do it however you want. So here's the hood over on a stand. You can see across the front here it had some not really damage, just peeling paint and a lot of rock chips. So went ahead, scuffed it down, primed it in with some good thick primer. We're going to block that back down. We're going to shoot it after we pull this out of here, get it out of harm's way. We'll shoot that and throw it back on the truck. So I've got it blocked out, sanded, completely prepped, clean, ready to go, but I wanted to show you guys a little trick. First of all, we're only going to put color like in this center area. Once we get over here to the edge where it meets the fender, we won't put color out there. We're going to just kind of blend this over, and that's it, because we don't, in case there's a color variation, which there very well could be, we want this to still match the fender. So we don't want any paint out here, just clear coat later. So for now, we're just going to cover this up with a couple coats, just kind of blend our color back this way. I'm sure you can see that. We'll have to blend a little in there, but keep it away from the fenders. Like I said, through here, I don't know if you can even see those, but we had some rock chips here and there. Can y'all see that? It's just the trouble I have with white, is showing you guys the details. A few rock chips in the blend area. So what I did is I just went and touched those up with a touch-up brush, only on the chips themselves. And then, of course, when we're done, we'll just clear right over me and never even know they were there. Got our paint mixed up in the gun. We'll start right here in this little spot. We're just gonna fog a little paint on there at first. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna kind of angle my gun away from the blend area. I don't want any paint out there. I think we said that a minute ago. Something like that. Carry it on through here. We'll get down to this end, we'll do the same thing. We want to blow our overspray away from our blend. And that's all we're going to do on the first coat. Let's do another coat. Okay, so now's where the magic happens. We're going to hit it up with a couple coats of clear. Now that our base coat, this is a two-stage in case I haven't mentioned it before, meaning it has a base coat, then a clear coat that goes on top. Single stage means it comes out of the can already shiny. Now, on the two-stage like this, you can come in and tack it all back off. Yeah, now that the base is dry, you just run your tack cloth on there and you will get overspray off of this surface, I promise you. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, because since we kind of blended, you're going to have overspray out here in your blend area for sure. You want to get that off, because otherwise it'll just look like a dirty paint job when you go back to clear over it. So this is just a little extra step that you can do with the two-stage. Yeah, we're picking up all kinds of overspray out in this area, so it's good to get that off of there. Yeah, you want to keep kind of flipping your tack rag over and open it up to a new clean surface, because you don't want to just start spreading the overspray around. You're actually trying to get it off of the surface, right? Hey, did you know that you can use your body lines as a way to separate your blends? Yeah, I came through here and I just sprayed right along my body lines, and you will never know that we didn't actually put color out here. The body line will actually help us. Okay, clear coat time. Now, I guess it's worth mentioning to anybody that's new at this, no more tacking. Once you spray the clear on, that's it. You are done with tack cloth. You cannot go back and wipe on this anymore. The clear coat is going to stay sticky, unlike the base coat, which actually dries to the touch in between coats. Not this stuff. So, once you start hammering it with the clear, that is it. You are done with the tack cloth. Oh, and another thing, we're only waiting for this to turn sticky, which happens rather quickly, just a few minutes and it's sticky and you could go back with your next coat. Alrighty, so I've got all my clear on. It's laying down, looking really nice. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to come through and I want to turn these lights off. Basically, my paint jobs look way better in the dark. I'm kidding. We got to turn the lights off because we don't want bugs, and bugs are attracted to light. So we got to turn all these off. Well, alrighty, there's another one heading home. Something I didn't even show on this one is I actually did the rocker panels on this one too. I think they turned out pretty dang good. Did both sides. And here's the next one. We got ourselves a Chevy Suburban that's got a little fender bender. I mean, that right there is the definition of fender bender. It creased it pretty good. I think we can save it though. We're definitely going to give it a shot. As for that busted headlight, we do have a new one and a grill too, because it actually cracked that grill. Yeah, you see where it's sticking out right there? Yeah, it's broken. I can see here the bumper took on a little bit of damage, but I think we could feather all of that back and then prime it in. I think it'll be fine. I'm feeling of this, and I don't feel that it actually needs any body work, I don't think. But you can see where it's all gouged and everything. So we'll feather that stuff back, get it primed in. But right here, we've got our work cut out for us on that. We'll start by pulling the wheel off. It's got the locking lugs on it. As soon as I seen that, I thought, oh God, here we go. We're not going to be able to find the key, but look at there. He had it right in the glove box where it's supposed to be. You got to love that. Sometimes that doesn't happen. In fact, I'd go as far as to say most of the time that doesn't happen. Now with the wheel out of the way, we'll get the splash shield out. Yep, that's all of them. Alrighty, so having that out of the way, we can get in here and have a better look. You can see where all this is kind of bent up. Might have to do a little smacking around on it. I think the majority of it's going to be just right in behind the headlight. We'll have to see if we can get up in behind there. Can't get to it from here. That is a metal inner structure on that, and it's made to the fender, so you can't take it off. Looking at it from under the hood, from the back side, it kind of looks like we could get in through that area a little bit. Maybe do a little prying, something like that. We'll see. Hell, this new stuff's so damn flimsy. You can probably just get in here with your bare hands and pull half of it out. Look at that. Look at that. Well, hell, that's damn near good as new already. Couldn't do that to no square body. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pull that front bumper off since it's gotta come off anyway. And we'll get the headlight out of the way. And we'll have full access behind there. We can get in there and tap on it or what have you. I'm gonna have to dig a buttload of these clips out. There's a whole bunch of them. These are a two-piece clip, and it's got a little notch to get in there. If you hold your mouth just right, you can pry these two apart. Hold my finger on it so it don't go flying off across the shop. But you see how there's one piece, and then we got to dig out the second piece. There we go. There's the second piece. Yeah, you can see now just how broken that grill really is. It's busted all the way across the front of there. Unlike that top piece, this piece actually has bolts in it. That wasn't too bad. Had just a few more bolts underneath it. And it slipped right off of there. That's cool. I think it's safe to say all the tabs were broken on the headlight. It's just flopping around in the hole, even though we haven't even pulled any bolts out yet. We'll get that out of the way, and we can start banging around on this thing is what I was thinking. Yeah. If there's anything holding it anymore. There you go. Get it unplugged and out of the way. We got a brand new one. Yeah, just kind of hold a little pressure out on that, and I will tap the side of here best I can. Try not to cause more damage.
I'd get a 2x4.
What?
Get a 2x4 to run on top of this.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. It's coming out pretty good right on the edge. I think we could go ahead and kind of bend some of this around. That's got to go down like that. And then we can maybe take it off, get it out of the way. Pry on this from the back side, so if I can get some of this to kind of work itself out. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Pop back into shape at least somewhat. We're getting somewhere. What we'll do is we'll match this up to our new headlight, make sure everything fits around it really nice before we actually start doing our filler work or anything. But I want to get this out as far as possible so we don't have to use very much filler. Let's try and fit this headlight, see if we're even in the ballpark of where this needs to be. Oh, you can see right here, look what that just revealed. This needs to have a little more of a twist to it, I guess. So let's do a little more metal shaping before we get too carried away. I'll pop this back out. We'll give it a little twist. See what happens. Like, to me, it just needed it right here. Just a little something like that, maybe. It's really flimsy out on the end there, so it's not giving us too much. Yeah, I mean, look, we're already pretty close. Look at that. That's almost. Let me get a light here. I'll shine it for you guys. Look at that. We're very close to where it needs to be. I'm going to pull that out and do that one more time, and I think we'll have it. Give it another one of these. See where that gets us. I went too far that time. No, I think that's it. I mean, that's pretty dang good. We'll smooth up all of this, hit it with the grinder. I think we're ready for some filler work. Let's do a little test fit here. See what we got going on. See if we're even in the ballpark. You got that side, I got this side.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we are pretty close. Get a nice coat of filler on here. Now, it's worth mentioning that we worked the surface down with a grinder and 80 grit. That roughs it up just right for our filler. We'll get us a nice little even coat of this on there, and then we're going to sand most of it right back off again. And we'll have it ready for some glaze, and then we'll go on to primer after that. I think I'm just about to get it. I got a tiny little low spot there, but this is our first pass. This is 36 grit on a board, and we have got this thing feeling nice and smooth. Got our edges all nice and straight. Everything's good to go. I think we could hit it with the glaze. Now, glaze is for just filling. See all these big scratches? That's from the 36 grit. This is extremely rough, coarse sandpaper. So you would not be able to prime this in. Trust me, your primer will shrink and you will see all those scratches, especially with it being black. It's gonna show everything. When it's painted, it will not hide anything. Everything will show up like a sore thumb. So you definitely want to get those scratches worked out. What I'll do is I'll go through it and I'll work this around the edge here with some 120, and then we will glaze, and then we will hit the glaze. We will finish it out to 180, and at that point it'll be ready to prime. But I can't stress it enough. Get your shape with the coarser sandpaper. It is much easier. Don't move on to the glaze unless you've got all of this dialed in first. Went ahead and popped the headlight in just to double check yet again to make sure everything is fitting just right, and as you can see, it fits exactly like the other side. So we're going to keep on going. Alrighty, here is our glaze. This is the hardener here. We're gonna mix these two together, get it mixed nice and thoroughly. I have explained this in previous videos. When you're mixing your filler, you just want to make sure, obviously, to mix it well, but don't stir it. They tell us that if you stir it, you're going to stir in a bunch of air. If you get air in it, you'll get little air pockets and pinholes and things like that. So you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. You see what I'm doing each time? I'm just gathering it up, spreading it back out, making sure to get it all off of the spreader each time. That way we don't have any of that hardener hiding out. It likes to get on the spreader and not get in your mix. So that's all we're doing there. I think we've done pretty good there. Let's get it on the truck. Now, like I said a minute ago, our shape is good. All we're filling in is these little 36 grit scratches. We 80 gridded, or actually we 120 gridded around the outside. And now all we're doing really is just filling in any of those aggressive scratches. I've had people ask me all the time, how do you know how much hardener to put in? It just depends on the temperature, the humidity, and things like that. If it were a hot summer day, which it is not, it is actually quite cold out here today. Even with the heater on, we're not getting too warm out here. So I've got plenty of time to mess with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take my time and get it on here just the way I want it. The better you spread it, the less sanding you'll have to do. See how I'm doing that? I just want to get some of the wipe marks out of it. Something else that you can do is up here where you're going to be feathering it out. You could go through and just kind of do that little number there, and it'll make it a little easier to feather. But like I said, I did not mix this stuff very strong, and we have very mild temperatures out here today. So we have plenty of time to get it on here. We might as well get it on here the way we want it to look. Don't just go globbing it everywhere, right? I've had people say that there's an art to spreading filler, and I do believe it. I've seen some guys really, really good at spreading their fillers. A lot of you older guys, y'all like the metal spreaders a lot better than the plastic ones. You swear by them. I've been thinking about switching over to metal spreaders just to try my luck at them. I've never really messed with them all that much. It's always been plastic for me. I guess because it's disposable, I don't know. You can see how much work time we got. We're doing all right. We'll come through here, kind of get it off the edge there. How about that? Don't worry about that bracket. I see a little bit of filler on there. Let it dry a little bit and you just kind of flick it off. You'll be good to go. What do you think?
Stood here so long, it became a tripod.
Alrighty, so there it is. All worked down to 180 grit, feathered back with 320 grit. And I just want y'all to admire that for a minute. Look at that. Look how sweet that bodywork is. Isn't that pretty nice? You see right here where it started to show through the undersurface? That's how you know when to stop. Don't keep going. You don't want to end up with a big high spot here and a low spot over here. I like for it my filler to be nice and uniform. You see sometimes where you'll have filler, metal, filler, metal. I hate that. I like for it to all be nice and uniform and to feather out right over the edge. So he's going to roll some primer on there, and I've had a lot of people tell me that like they didn't know you could roll primer, and you sure can. It works great. This is going to keep down there. I mean, there's no overspray, zero, none at all. Very little masking, if any. See where I put a little bit of masking over that bracket. I probably could have taken it back off faster, but whatever.
No, look, see, it's a good reason you put it there.
Well, I mean, it's got two little bolts in it. I probably could have just took it off faster than masking it, but whatever. This works either way, and that'll keep our primer off of it. And but other than that, no masking required. You can actually see over here where he already did the bumper, and he did not have to take anything apart yet. Didn't have to mask anything or nothing. So works out pretty dang good. Yeah, we've got one of those there plastic welders. I've never tried this one before. This was sent to me by a subscriber, and I want to give it a shot, see how it works. There we go. I don't know, I just kind of think it's satisfying watching this all melt back together. I thought maybe you would think it too. Let's see. All right, that ought to work. Let's let that set for a minute. And we'll pull it loose. There we go. Okay, so these are pretty cool and easy to use. It's just got these little, it's got several boxes of different shapes, you see there, and they just slip right into the end of this little gun. Get both the little prongs in there like that. We'll put it over here, we'll pull the trigger, and it's just gonna melt itself right into both pieces of plastic, the bracket and the bumper. Once they're melted down in there real good, I'll let off the trigger. I'm feeling around on the other side. I don't feel anything trying to like melt through the other side or anything. You can have an air hose ready. Hit it with a little bit of air. You don't really have to. It just kind of speeds up the process, and then you'll pull that right off of there, and the piece will be permanently welded into both pieces, attaching them together, man. It's really cool. Okay, so there it is. We got all of it stitched up all the way around. We even did a little bit of plastic welding around in these areas there. I'm gonna take my grinder, this one here, and I'm just gonna zip through there just to kind of cut off the little prongs that are sticking out. That way it'll fit up against the rebar when we go to put it back on. I wouldn't want these to be rubbing up against that, so we'll level them off. So I went ahead and flipped it back over, and I've got all of my primer all blocked out. You can see where it had a little boo-boo right there, but that's okay. We took care of it. Everything's finished out with 320 grit sandpaper. We ought to be ready for sealer. Yeah, typically we would want to use a sealer that's close to the color that you're spraying. Let's put it that way. You're spraying a dark color, you would want a darker sealer, but this will be all right. Yeah, it'll be fine. There it is. After a couple of coats of base color, we got a good even coverage, and now we're ready for some clear coat. Okay, so there it is after a couple 3 coats of clear. Now it is in need of some color sand and buffing, but it's still a little bit too soft for that. It's so damn cold out here. We're gonna let this thing sit out in the sun for a few days, and then we'll go back and buff it out. I think that would make a great video, doing some color sanding and buffing. Maybe we'll do that on this one. With it being such a dark color, it shows every little thing, and I think that would be really good for the camera, make it a lot easier for you guys to see what's going on. If you guys have been watching the videos, you know we painted a handful of cars, but they've all been white, so it's real hard for you guys to pick up the detail on camera, but I think this one here, it'll get the job done for sure. So I'll keep that in mind for you guys when it comes time to do that. I guess we're going to wait and see what they bring us next. So there's you a little more paintwork. I know some of you guys like seeing that, so I don't mind putting it on the channel. As for this project right here, I have a feeling we're going to get held up on this transmission for a minute. Y'all know how it is when you drop things off at the old rebuilder. You never know. It could be a week, it could be a month. But not to worry, we still have plenty of stuff to do around here. I'm going to bring in that 72 Plymouth Fury. I know a lot of you guys have been missing that project. We're going to get it back in here and do some more work to it and introduce it to some of our new subscribers. So we'll do that on the next video. The 1966 orange dually pickup, the Chevy dually, we're going to bring it back in and do some work to it, and I'm going to fill you guys in on what's going on with that. That project kind of took a turn, but you're going to love it. Just let me tell you that. It's nothing bad. I mean, it is, but we're going to make the best of it, and it's going to be even better. You'll see. I want to show y'all that. I'm eager to show y'all that. We're going to do that on the next video, I do believe. So, hey, you guys, go check me out on Facebook. Weirdbeard on Facebook. I send out a notification every time I put a new video out just in case YouTube doesn't notify you. Also, if you could do me a favor and go double check and make sure you're subscribed. Sometimes they unsubscribe you to channels and you don't even know it. So if you guys could do that for me, I would appreciate it. As for now, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. I'll see y'all next time.